All right, I guess we don't have to worry about TJ Watt getting traded or TJ potentially holding out or holding in during training camp or potentially skipping the 2025 regular season if things got really ugly because he just signed a record-breaking deal. Per Adam Schefter, TJ has become the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history for the second time in his illustrious career, reaching an agreement today on a 3-year, $123 million extension that includes $108 million fully guaranteed at signing. The $41 million per year average is the highest of any non-quarterback in NFL history. The deal has been in the works between CAA Sports and the Steelers front office for months. Once I saw TJ post an Instagram story of him smiling his ass off with Nick Herbig training out in, I think, Wisconsin, I'm guessing, I was like, something's up. Like, TJ looks too happy for him and the Steelers to be as far apart as what the media is saying. And I think Aditi even had a report today that said the disrespect between TJ and the Steelers is even worse, or the Steelers disrespecting TJ is even worse than what it was back in 2019 or 2020 when TJ was trying to get his first big contract. So I saw that. I'm like, something's up. Like, TJ looks too happy in this picture right here. I'm sure something's going to get done soon, and it happened today. This is no team friendly. This is no hometown discount. Yeah, I thought there was going to be some sort of meeting in the middle between organization and TJ Watt, but no, TJ, he got his money. He got his bag. And even with the fully guaranteed, because that's one thing. Like, you look at the 3 years, 123, the 41 per year, like, that's the big headline number, right? Record-breaking contract. That's what gets everyone talking. That's what the headline. But it's like, what's the fully guaranteed? Because Myles Garrett's was 4 years, 160 million, but like 120 that's guaranteed. So it was like a little bit over 30 per year average. Same with Max Crosby. This is like not only topping Myles Garrett and Max Crosby's deal from the headlines, 3 years, 123 million, that's 41 million per year on average is right there. But then you look at the 41 or the guarantees, aside from that 41 million, the 108 million, divide that by 3, that's 36. So that's the fully guarantees is like the more significant thing here if you look at it, because the 41, that's, you know, a little bit over Myles Garrett right now. That's $1 million per year over Myles Garrett. But the fully guaranteed is even more so. $36 million versus Myles Garrett only getting a little bit over 30. Max Crosby getting a little over 30 in the fully guarantees. So TJ got his money, man. He definitely got his money. And there were talks that the years was a sticking point. TJ wanted more years, maybe 4 or 5. Steelers wanted it to be less. So maybe that was a part of the negotiation. That was a part of the equation here. TJ would move off the number of years from 4 to 5 to something shorter, like a 3, but we got to give him more guarantees. We got to give him more per year. More per year to the extent that it would be record-breaking and more than Myles Garrett. Yeah, this had to be done. I'm not the biggest fan of the $41 million per year from a Steelers standpoint, and how this may not be the smartest way to construct a team in 2025 and going forward, given that this is, even though it's not a 4 or 5 year deal, it's still a multi-year deal. And the fact, too, that TJ's 30 and is coming off of not one of his best seasons where he looked like vintage TJ Watt, especially at the end of it. Those last 4 or 5 weeks was kind of a no-show. But it had to be done, man. It had to be done. So I'm happy that the deal was done. I'll put it to you that way. I'm not happy exactly at the numbers and all that stuff. Thought it would be a little bit more of a team-friendly deal. It wasn't going to be over $40 million, wasn't going to be something that had to be higher than Myles Garrett or Max Crosby. Now, Max Crosby makes sense because he got 35. I think if TJ would have gotten like 36, 37, that still would have been reasonable for him. It wouldn't have been a slap in the face to get that type of money. Yeah, it would have been a little less than Myles Garrett, his rival, but still, like, I think everyone would have understood that this was a meeting of both sides in the middle. and TJ really wants to be a Steeler. That's what this is more about. He's trying to benefit the team, give them a little bit of a discount versus what the market value is, but it just didn't happen. TJ got his money. He got his money, man. Good for him. And good for the Steelers, again, for getting this thing done, because now the messaging is all clear going into training camp, all clear going into week 1 of this regular season that, yeah, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. We didn't make these big-time moves, the Rodgers signing, the DK Metcalf trade, the Jalen Ramsey Minka swap. We didn't do all these moves for nothing. Because if it would have got ugly with TJ Watt and there would have been a standstill, we trade him, or he sits out, or he's going to play, or like he still goes to practice and ends up playing in these games and shows up, but he's a malcontent. Like, that kills the vibes. Now he got his contract. He's happy. Everyone's happy on this team. Singularly focused on the goal of winning the Super Bowl. So I like that. I do like that. $41 million though. It's whatever. Here's a couple things you got to look at. First is you would be able to trade TJ Watt at the end of this season if things go to shit. He's not going to have the same value, most likely, because he's going to be another year older, as opposed to if you were to have traded him this offseason. But you could still move off of this contract. You're still going to have some flexibility there. Like, a contender would, I think, be more than willing to take on a chance of TJ Watt being on their roster to get them over the edge, get them over the hump, to try to win a Super Bowl, and give up, some sort of mid-round pick, late-round pick. So there's that. I don't expect things to go to shit, though. I think the Steelers are, worst case, we're going to be a little bit over 500. We're going to be in the mix. But I don't expect that to happen, and I don't expect TJ Watt to go completely downhill either. He'll at least give you double-digit sacks, but that's not why you're paying TJ Watt $41 million for double-digit sacks and being really good. You're paying $41 million for a DPOY candidate or a DPOY winner, and a guy that's making impact plays left and right and is giving you vintage TJ Watt type of stuff. It's fair to question if we're going to continue to get that after what TJ did second half of last season. But at the same time, if someone can do it, it is TJ Watt. If there is someone that can age like a Cam Hayward, can be one of those guys that could still get it done at a high level into their early 30s, I wouldn't be counting out a TJ Watt for the amount that he works and how dedicated he is and just what he's showcased throughout the course of his career up to this point. Maybe we can consider the last half of last season an outlier. Honestly, if you look at his career, that is an outlier. But age factors in, and you got to consider it. Yeah, you got to consider it whenever you're projecting what he's going to be doing over the next 2, 3, 4 years into the equation. That's a fact. But this is a short-term deal, 3 years, 123. I get the guarantees are high. You'll be able to be flexible with this thing. Omar Khan ain't stupid with these contracts. You're going to be able to, I think, move off of it if things go to hell at the end of the season. And it's obvious we need a reboot, complete clean house. You'll be able to move off of it. But also, yeah, I think probably after that year 2, you're going to have some flexibility with it. Even with those guarantees being as high as it is, you're going to have some flexibility. Maybe there's another restructure to be had after that point. And here's the other thing I'm going to be interested in. I was trying to look up more details before clicking record. It's a 3-year, 123 extension. So by definition here, that's just extension on what his contract already is. He has one more year left on what he previously signed. So is this really like a 4-year deal? And that $41 million per year is actually less. It actually is something in the mid-30s because it's added on to what he already had. I don't know, because that's what happened with the Sean Elliott's contract. That's what happened with Jonnu Smith's extension. You see the headline number. Oh, Jonnu Smith signed this 1-year double-digit extension, but it's an extension on on top of what he already had, and the per year with the current contract is actually less than double digits. I think for Jonnu Smith's case, it's like $7.5 or $8 million. And then Deshaun Elliott, same thing. We saw that initial number, wasn't it around like 8 or 9 per year on the extension, but tacked on to what he already had. It was like $5 or $6 million per year. So maybe, I don't know. I gotta see what more details come out with this thing, because it could be a little deceiving right now. And at the end of the day, even if I don't like this $41 million per year average, it had to be done. It had to be done. There are things I like about this. Again, it sends the clear message that we are all in for 2025. We don't have to worry about any drama, anything like that. We got the squad. We got the roster ready. Now, could we still maybe add another receiver? That remains to be seen. I think with the Jonnu Smith trade, we got enough weapons on offense to go into week 1 confident. But wouldn't mind a Gabe Davis signing if, he gets healthy towards the end of preseason or a couple weeks before the regular season starts. That wouldn't be the worst signing in the world, because obviously it would be cheap. It'd be low risk, potential high reward. But I think we got guys. I think we got guys on offense. Rodgers ain't lacking for weapons at this point. We got our squad. We're ready. I think we're all in, singularly focused, Super Bowl, no drama, no outside noise. And it's what you had to do. When you made the Aaron Rodgers signing, you did all these trades with DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey. Honestly, that's where TJ Watt's leverage came from, in my opinion. The Steelers waited to give him the extension, so you got to see Myles Garrett get his done and also Max Crosby get his done. And then you made big swings. And you didn't do anything with TJ Watt, whether it was the extension or trade him. And the draft came and went. Free agency, the big part of free agency came and went. And you got this squad with Rodgers, who clearly wants TJ Watt on his team, said as much whenever he did his introductory press conference. You got Aaron Rodgers here. You got Ramsey. You got these big signings and trades that you just made, where you said, yeah, last year and the status quo of what we've been doing isn't good enough. Big shakeup. Look, Steeler fans, we are all in. You guys were calling for change. This is the change. But not having TJ Watt be a part of that would be like, all right, how much does this really help us win a Super Bowl? We got Rodgers here, we got DK, all this, but we don't have TJ Watt on defense. Question mark now at edge rusher position. But no, I mean, we're loaded. From a talent standpoint, we're loaded. From an on-paper standpoint, as I said, there's no reason why you can't consider us in the mix with some of these other top AFC teams. No reason. Just look at our roster on paper. Got to execute, obviously. That's the name of the game in this league. But Rodgers coming off of 28 touchdowns, 11 picks with the shitty Jets organization. Now that you're removed from that Achilles, it's not a far stretch that we get elite quarterback play from him. And that's the name of the game here, too. Honestly, you needed TJ Watt, but this comes down to elite quarterback play, as I've been hammering on all offseason. It's all for no. The trades, the TJ Watt stuff. If Aaron Rodgers ain't playing like Aaron Rodgers or some form or fashion of Aaron Rodgers and giving us elite quarterback play, top 10 quarterback play, it ain't going to matter. None of this stuff's going to matter anyway. It's just not. So that's what we need. That's really the secret sauce here. Aaron Rodgers got to play elite. But having a TJ Watt, having the defense and the names that we got on defense now and the weapons he has on offense is only going to help. It's only going to help. With him having the contract that he's got and Omar Khan being awesome at GM, we're able to have all these pieces in place for this last dance, even though it's not really a last dance. It's more like a first dance in a way. It's a last dance for some of these guys, like a TJ and Cam Hayward. But this is like the first crack at it, but also in a weird way, the last crack at it. It's the 2025 Steelers. This ain't your grandpa's Steelers. Not at all. This is how we do things now. New quarterback every year. Crazy ass signings in the offseason. Headlines, splash moves. And we feel, devastating endings to seasons where you feel hopeless, and all of a sudden a few months go by in the offseason, we're fucking back. And with this TJ signing, that's how I'm feeling. The TJ signing, the Rodgers signing, the moves we made, we're back. This move needed to happen. Vibes are high. We'll worry about the numbers later. We'll worry about the business, the contract, and the value and all that. We'll worry about that in 2026. We'll worry about that stuff and whether or not we got to restructure it, if it was a smart move or not for the future. We'll say smart move or not for the future. Smart move right now, smart move or not for 20. We'll worry about that in 2026. We can get off it if we got that's fine. All in 2025. Let's go. Here we go, Steelers. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Peace.